Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koutou te whare. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak on this bill, the Whanganui Iwi prison and northern part of Whanganui Forest on account settlement bill. And I was going to focus on some of the technical aspects of this bill, and hopefully we'll have time to do so in the a little later. But I thought I might, at the initial part of my contribution to this debate, Mr. Speaker, focus on a couple of the points that have been made by previous speakers. And I noted with mirth some of the comments from my friends and colleagues on the opposite benches on a number of items. Firstly, dealing with the contribution of Marion Street, she waxed lyrical about her knowledge of the CFRT, Crown Forest Rental Trust. And I sat with some amusement as she said that she was taking pride in the fact that the assets of the Crown Forest Rental Trust once again were being transferred to their rightful owners, and how she was part of that and claiming, like many things, that Labor was responsible. Well, let me give her a little history lesson. The Crown Forest Rental Trust was set up in 1989, and I know everything about it because I negotiated it. He knows everything. And Shane Jones, even Shane Jones admits it, and it's recorded in the Hansard. And let me tell Marion Street one other thing about the Crown Forest Rental Trust negotiations. When that was settled, the agreement said that all forests would be settled within 4 years. What? 4 years, they said, within 4 years. And now here we are, still settling these claims. And of course, we've had Marilyn and all my friends Parikura and Mitza again waxing lyrically about...
Order. There's a point of order. Ross Robertson.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that the honourable member opposite is well aware that you cannot address the person by the Christian name in this House. It must be by their title or the position that they hold or the electorate which they represent. And the member, sir, on 4 occasions now has used first names. And I'd ask him, sir, to be brought to order. This is the House of Representatives.
Order. When a point of order is being considered, there will be silence. Now, the member knows that, and I'd ask in future that he use the correct name. Paul Quinn.
I must apologise to the previous Deputy Speaker, who I'm sure knows the books and the rules of this House with such thoroughness but nonetheless, I thank him for his contribution and guidance in the matter. And I guess I just got carried away with the fact that the collegiality on the Select Committee is so great that we actually use Christian names and friendly names, you see. And I must check the standing orders and Speaker's rulings to see whether we're allowed to use Christian names or we must use full names or constituent names. But nonetheless, I guess I just got carried away in the spirit of friendship and understanding. Anyway, so for that I must apologise to Mr. Horomia and Mr. Ritsunui if I have offended you. I really am sorry for having done that. Anyway, I was sharing with you, Mr. Speaker, and my parliamentary colleagues, the fact that When the Crown Forest Rental Trust and the Crown Forest Assets Act was passed, it was agreed that they would be all settled within 4 years, and here we are today discussing settlement of another forest. And of course, we've heard from our friends on the Labor side how this is another great step and a great reflection of their work that they did around this bill. And I think it's appropriate that the record show that in the 9 years that the previous administration sat on this side of the House, that in fact they only managed to do 1.5 settlements a year. And then that got to that level because of the accelerated and focused attention of the then Minister of Treaty Settlements, Dr. Cullen, who clearly for whatever reason decided that things needed to move along a little quicker than they had been under the, I think, what was Honourable Margaret Wilson. Yes, that's right, Margaret Wilson. Followed by, what was that chappie from Taupo? Burton, yes, Mr. Burton. So, or Honourable Burton. Anyway, so I think that I think it's important to put things in perspective. I also would like to comment briefly about the contribution, by the List Green MP, David Clendon, who, like my colleague Simon Bridges, the constituent member for Tauranga, commented on in terms of noting that we should stop that Mr. Clendon was pleading for pause to have a cup of tea. Well, let me share with Mr. Clendon that as someone who has been involved in these issues since 1984, there is no time for a cup of tea. Māori people, iwi, whānau and hapu want to get on with it. No, not my people. I am their servant. I am just the boy at the feet of the chiefs. So anyway, so I think it's appropriate to understand that that people are keen to move and get out of grievance mode and into into development mode and to get on with things. And this particular bill, which is now before us in the second reading, the Whanganui Iwi prison and northern part of the Wanganui Forest on account settlement bill, is now again another one of the many bills that we have already passed in this House under this administration, under the superb leadership of the current Minister of Treaty Settlements, the Honourable Christopher Finlayson, a fine gentleman, scholar and minister. And also I think we should place on record the excellent leadership that in fact the chairman of the Select Committee, Mr. Tau Henare, the Honourable Tau Henare, has contributed in terms of ensuring the harmonious relationship within the Select Committee and amongst its members. And it's a pleasure, I have to record, Mr. Speaker, it is a pleasure to be able to serve on the Māori Affairs Select Committee, firstly with such fine people, gentlemen, all of them, and also in the work that the committee does in accelerating and moving through the settlements so that the Māori people who they are aimed at assisting can get on with their development and into forward thinking. So with those few words, Mr.